Hello, hello. Looks like it's time. Alright, we're doing things slightly different today because we're doing soap. We're not doing resin because I need to get some soap made. But hello, welcome to the stream. I've got things kind of set where I need them, I think. I've already melted down my palm oil and my coconut oil. So, we've got those. Here, I'm going to wipe off the bottom of this though, because I had it sitting over some hot water. So, I still need to add all the oils. Oh, I do also have, the reason that I have my goggles and gloves on is I do also have my lye water here all mixed up as well. Which it's a lot cooler than it was, because when I first poured the lye in, it was like 185 degrees Fahrenheit. And now it's 111. So, a lot cooler, which is good. That's part of the reason I did it before the stream, is I wanted it to have time to cool off. Because you need to have it at kind of a lower temperature when you mix it in with the oils. But, let's see here. We can start getting the oils mixed. I think it probably will be a slightly shorter stream today. Just judging by how long the last stream that I made soap was. But we can, let's get some things measured here. Alright, so we've got that's our coconut oil. We're going to be adding palm oil, canola oil, and olive oil as well. I have my recipe over here. Let me just look here. That's the coconut. I need palm. Alright. Let me get this measured up. Yeah, okay. I'm making about 2 pounds of soap, so making sure I'm looking at the right recipe. Sorry, I'm going to be quiet here while I measure because I don't want to get it wrong. That'd be very annoying. A little bit more. A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. So, yeah, I don't make soap all that often because it's hard to make a small amount of soap at a time. You know, the fewest number of bars I can make at a time is 10, which is what I'm going to be making, and that's about 2 pounds of soap, at least with this kind of soap. I guess I could do melt and pour. This is cold processed soap, so this is mixing the oils with the lye and having it go through the whole saponification process. I guess I could do to melt and pour, which is like a pre-made soap base that you then melt down and can add things to. Alright, let's see here. Let's move on to the next one. Yeah, canola. Which canola do I want? 6.14. Alright. Once I get these, I can chat a little bit about why I'm doing the different oils. And that's about 5. Trying not to make a huge mess, which is easier said than done. I'm trying to add little bits. This is the other reason I wear gloves. You know, it's for safety, but also, man, I get oil everywhere. 6 point. Not quite. I'm at 6. Come on. 6.1. The barest amount. I need like a drop. There we go, 6.14. Alright, so I just have olive oil after this. The reason that it's a mix of oils is that the different oils have different properties. Some of them make it so it's like a more sudsy bar. Some make it so that it's harder. All that sort of stuff. I have done soap that's just coconut oil, although it's a little bit different in amounts when you do just coconut oil. Because with most soap, how much all of them am I doing? 6, 7. All right. With you know, most soaps you add like a little bit of extra oils, just a little bit of extra. But with like coconut, just pure coconut oil, you add a lot of extra. Otherwise, it makes a very, very dry bar of soap. All right, let me add my olive oil. Oh wow, I poured to exactly the right amount. I'm impressed with myself. I poured to exactly 6.67, which was exactly what I wanted. I'm somewhat impressed with myself. All right, so we've got all of our oils. Let me stir those up. So we've got our oils, we've got our lye. I think the only thing we'd have left to measure is actually our fragrance. So, yeah, maybe I should try to get some of this stuff ready. We can let this stuff sit for a minute. And that's just fine. Let me set it off screen so it's just a little bit easier. So, honestly, I try not to use these containers for my fragrance, but I will just toss it immediately afterwards. It reacts strangely with the plastic over time. All right, so I'm going to be doing oatmeal milk and honey, and it smells really good. It smells like oatmeal milk and honey. It's like that kind of warm scent. It's good. All right, so we're gonna do I usually do about 0.6 ounces for 2 pounds. And this does have vanilla in it, which is going to discolor the soap. But in this case, that's going to be okay. I want a little bit of a brown tint to it. All right, there's 0.6. I want a little bit of a brown tint to the soap because it's going to be oatmeal. So I'm okay with that being, you know, just a little bit browning, because vanilla really discolors soap. All right, I think we're done measuring things by weight. Let me just think here. Let me get some of this stuff ready to go before we actually mix everything, because I think it's going to be more of a pain to try and open everything up once we actually have the soap starting to mix. So I've got my fragrance. I don't think I need this anymore. I think I've got that figured out. I've got a few other things over here. Some of them we're gonna try some things. First up, I got oats. I don't know how much I want, but I know it's more than this. I'm just gonna set some oats in this bowl for now. I don't want too many, but I want enough that they're visible. That's the fun thing about cold process soap, is you can kind of add whatever you want to it. So, I don't know. Yeah, well, I'm gonna have one more scoop here. I might not add all of these, but it's gonna be easier to grab, I think, from this container here than this one. If I really need more, I'll grab some more from here. Actually, this is all for soap. I'm just gonna add another scoop, and then I'll scoop out of this bowl, just for ease of access. And then if I have extra, I'll just put them back in here. I'm not gonna eat these ever, so that should be fine. All right, so we've got our oats, got our fragrance. Okay, there's going to be a couple of things I think that I'm going to add in the middle. So like I said, I'm okay with the vanilla changing the color of the soap, because if you have vanilla in your fragrance, it turns the soap brown. I'm okay with that for the oatmeal side. So I'm going to do kind of a half and half design with one half with the oatmeal and then one half with like a solid color. And I'm going for kind of neutral colors. So the half that has the oatmeal, I'm cool with that being brown. But I think for the other one, I want it to be more off-white. So I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla color stabilizer to the fragrance for that half, and a little bit of titanium dioxide, which is a white colorant. And I think, oh, have I tried this in resin? I don't know if I've tried the titanium dioxide in resin. I should really do that. But anyways, that should, I think, make it, you know, a lighter color, which is what I want. But I think we're going to add those kind of in the middle once we've added the fragrance to the oatmeal side. Let me set, just want to try a room over here. The other thing that I was thinking of trying, since I want to do two different sides, you know, I want to do the oatmeal and then I want to do like the light colored one, I was thinking of doing like a dark line in between. And a way to do that would be to dust mica there. I don't really have a good way to do that. And so I went and poked some holes. Oh, I don't know, I'm going over there. I went and poked some holes in the bottom of a cup here. And I'm wondering if that would work for kind of like dusting it. I have a second one here so it doesn't get everywhere. So I'm going to try that. And I've got this dark brown. Pigment. Let me put my gloves back on because it's going to make a mess, I can tell. That fragrance smells so good. I don't know, it reminds me of like something from my youth, and I'm not sure what it is. It's just a very warm scent. Very, very warm scent. Alright. So we'll be adding those, but let's see if I can grab a little bit of this to dust. And we're just going to pour any extra back in, but I don't think I don't think it'll take too much. So we'll see how well that goes once we get to that point. Because I'm not sure how that'll work. But I think we have all of our stuff. Oh, and I'm not using this. I think we have all of our stuff where we need it. So let's go ahead. Let me double check this is the correct temperature. Because I want my lye and my oils to be within about 10 degrees of each other. So let's just see what these are at. 88, 104. This should be close enough. It's about, you know, that's closer to like 15 degrees, but they're cool enough that I think it should be okay. So let me pour these in. I'm probably going to mute myself, or at least turn the volume down, because we're going to be stirring it with a hand mixer, and it gets rather loud. But that's okay. I will do that in just a second after I pour the lye in. All right, there's the lye water in. Side. All right, let me just turn the volume down a bit. I'm gonna just go down to there, and we'll get this all stirred. Let me know in the chat if it's too loud or anything like that. See it starting to change color there a little bit. It's starting to go opaque. I want to make sure that it gets mixed up completely, but I also want it fairly thin, I think, so that I can get those layers, especially that first layer with the oats, pretty smooth. But I'm more worried about it being mixed completely than I am about it being thin. So I'm going to stir it a little bit more. streaks in there. I want to make sure that it is completely mixed up. You know, I think it's starting to get thicker. Yeah, I think we're good. We're going to leave it there. It looks like it's all mixed up, but it's still fairly thin. So let me turn my volume back up. Yeah, so it's still fairly thin, which is what I want, but it's all mixed up. Let's start with this for a second. Make sure I get everything off of my my scraping tool. All right. So I'm going to pour off about half of it into this bowl. I'm going to leave about half in this container. And it doesn't need to be exact. I'm not going for an exact science here. I think that's probably about half and half. Yeah. And we'll start adding, I think, our oats and a little bit of the fragrance to this one. So let's start figuring out the oats. Like I said, I'm not quite sure how many oats I want to do, so I'm just going to add until it looks right. But I think we can do a couple of scoops at the very least. We'll start mixing that in. Because I do want the oats to be visible in there. And they will be, just because of, you know, it's going to get cut in half. But yeah, it's still very light at the moment. But once we add the fragrance, it'll start turning it brown. Alright, I think... Yeah, I don't want so many that it makes it so that the bar doesn't like stick to itself, but I want enough that it looks like oatmeal. And actually, I think we're getting pretty close. I think I'm just gonna add a little tiny bit more, and I think we're gonna call it good on that. So let's, yeah, that's definitely starting to look oatmeal-y. You can see the texture in there. Yeah, we're going for a very kind of natural sort of feel with this bar of soap. Very earthy colors and all that. All right, we've got our oats in there. Let's add about half of our fragrance oil. Got our fragrance here. We're gonna add about half. I'm not doing it exact. It's not that big of a deal. So let's get that fragrance mixed in. Make sure I get all those corners. Smells lovely. Make sure I don't leave any in the corners or the sides. All right. And I think we can go ahead and pour that into the mold. And we should do that while it's still fairly thin because I want it to get fairly flat. So, oh dear, don't particularly want oats in there. All right, so here's our mold right here. It's in our mold form, and we're just going to go ahead and pour this in. And I'm going to try and keep it as clean as possible so that it's just on the bottom of the mold. Oh, I hear a kitty cat outside, but alas, they cannot come in while I'm doing soap because, you know, lie. No dangerous chemicals for kitty. All right. Let's scrape this out and try and get all of that soap in there. All of that soap in there. Yeah, I have a tendency to kind of over mix my soap and wait till it's a lot thicker, so it's actually kind of nice that this is a little bit thinner. I do want to kind of let that maybe set up just a little bit in the mold before I add the next part, though. just because I want it to be as smooth of a line as possible. But let's get as much of this out of here as we can. All right. I'm trying not to get any on like the sides. I'm trying to get it nice and flat if I can. Trying to get it nice and flat. You can see it's starting to hold its shape a little bit, which means it's getting a little bit thicker, which is a-okay. Let's wipe that off the side there. It is pretty flat though, which I'm happy with. So we're gonna try my little dusting container. I'm not sure how this is gonna work, so we're just gonna maybe not perfect. Not great. This is gonna add too much though. So I'm gonna do something that's going to make a mess. I'm gonna do something that's gonna make a mess, just so you know, just so you're aware. I'm gonna end up very glittery. Trying to get it spread out a little bit, because I don't really want, I don't want big clumps of it. I want it to be kind of brown all the way across. Not perfect. Needs a little bit more. Yeah, I don't want it to be super clumped or super thick, because then the soap won't stick. That's working better though. But it's putting all sorts of dust in the air. Maybe not the best way to do this. Alright, there we go. I just wasted a whole bunch, but I need to figure out a better way to do that. I need like a sieve or something. Just kind of sieve it in there. But we do have our layer of brown now. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, let's move on to our next color. So, for this one, I want it to stay, is that out of the way? Yeah. I want it to stay a lighter color. Ooh, that'll be fun to clean up later. I'll clean that up later. We want this to stay a lighter color, so I'm going to add a little bit of our, oh, hi Enchilada. How are you doing? I'm making soap. It's going to be a kind of short stream today, because it doesn't take super long. This has even less of a work time than the resin. So I'm just mixing up my color stabilizer here. We just poured half with some oatmeal, some oats in it, and then I'm doing, the fragrance has vanilla in it, which just colors it to brown. I'm adding some stuff to make it so it doesn't discolor to brown. And then I'm gonna add, looking up how to make perfume. Ooh, cool. And I'm gonna add a little bit of, hopefully I don't get a bunch of brown in there. A little bit of our titanium dioxide here. Get that mixed in. Because we want to go for kind of an off-white. I just realized that I did not grab a thing to stir. Let me grab a popsicle stick. Alright. So let me get this all mixed up. And this is the other half of the fragrance. A little bit of color stabilizer, and then some titanium dioxide, which is a white colorant, so hopefully make it a little bit lighter. Alright, let's add that. And we'll, oops, that titanium dioxide didn't really mix in very well, did it? Trying to make it so that I don't have giant clumps of the titanium dioxide in there. You find anything cool about making perfume? Because that sounds fun. I've got a whole bunch of fragrances, but I don't know what sort of base you use for perfume. Yeah, this soap's gonna smell, it's fragrances, let's see, oatmeal, milk, and honey. It smells really good. It's like really warm scented. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this down because I don't want all the oats. I don't want all the oats in this half. So it's messy, but there we go. All right, and then let's get this all mixed up. Just a little bit, oops. Now this half's a bit thicker than the other one, which probably means that the one that's in there right now has thickened up a bit. So that's good. But let's get all of that color and fragrance mixed in, and then we'll try to gently layer this on top of the other one. Gently, gently layer. That's the goal. I'm trying to do kind of like a split thing. I think before I add this, I think to help make it stick a little bit better with the all that mica there. All right, this seems to be pretty well mixed. I'm going to spritz this down. Jojoba oil, ethanol, water, and then the essential. Oh, okay. That seems easy enough. Huh, all right. I'm going to spritz this with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Just to kind of make that mica set a little bit in place. So, let's see if we can do this. I don't know, I have a very heavy hand. So let's see if we can do this gently. So the way that people usually do it is they have this here and they pour onto it so that it's gentle. It's getting a little bit thick though. It's getting thick enough. I don't know if I think let's just spoon it on. I think that's just going to be easier. I'm just going to spoon it on. And then we'll tamp it down to hopefully get everything in place. It's actually still not super thick, so what kind of perfume are you thinking of making? Any is there like a certain scent that you just really want to make or something? Because that sounds fun. You know, I didn't think about the fact that me getting the brown everywhere is going to get it on the sides of the mold, but oh well. We'll just call it a design choice. Yeah, so I'm making soap because hopefully if things have settled down a little bit by then, I'm going to do a holiday bazaar that I've done in the past. That's the hope anyway. All right, I'm just going to wiggle this around, try and get it as flat as possible, and I think I'll probably try to like kind of cut the top so that they're nice and smooth once I unmold this tomorrow. All right, and I think that's it. Let's see. I mentioned base notes, middle notes, and top notes. It seems depending on the essential oil, it would be considered one of those. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I feel like that's kind of like the main fragrance that you're smelling, like, versus like the kind of like the subtle ones that you're smelling. So that makes sense to me. Man, this is just a half an hour long stream, wasn't it? You know, I said it was going to be a short stream. I didn't really expect it to be that short, because our soap's all made. that's the soap made. Now I just have to let it cure for you know, overnight, and I'll cut it, and I'll probably post photos of it in the Discord. But yeah, huh? That was a very short stream. Maybe I should just do soap on my own, because it seems like it's maybe a little bit too quick for streaming. But yeah, that was. Oh well, one last thing. One last thing. Let me just spritz down the top with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. I did a water discount on this so that hopefully it doesn't get any like soda ash on the top, which is kind of just like a dusty white color on the top. And I'm planning to kind of cut the top anyway, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But rubbing alcohol can help with that. So we'll just spritz that down a little bit to help with that. But yeah, no, I think I'm done. I think I'm done for today. So thanks for stopping by, Enchilada, but that was pretty much all I wanted to get done today. Now I'm gonna go sand a whole bunch of things. Lots of sanding. So yeah, I'll see you later. Have fun with your perfume adventure. That sounds fun. Bye.